Taller, more significant, longer, higher. Today's video will cover some of the biggest, most extreme megaprojects that made their way into the record books. Before we move forward, make sure to subscribe to Amazing World. Don't forget to leave your thoughts about this video in the comments below. Let's start with the world's tallest tower upon completion. The Tokyo Skytree overshadowed the 50-year-old landmark in Tokyo. Built in 1958, the Tokyo Tower was the tallest freestanding tower in the world. It was 333 meters tall and served as the central broadcasting tower for the city over the next 5 decades. However, as skyscrapers started rising in the city skies, the Tokyo Tower's transmission signals were often interrupted. The problem kept growing, and it was time to replace the old tower. So in 2008, construction began on a tower much taller than its predecessor. Close to 100 architects and engineers were involved in the designing process for the Tokyo Skytree. Its design is inspired by traditional Japanese architecture, with its curves built like the blade of a samurai sword. When designing the Tokyo Skytree, the planners' key consideration was avoiding damage from earthquakes. Japan has over 10% of all earthquakes worldwide, and building the tallest tower presented many risks if another big earthquake hit the capital. To counter any negative impacts of an earthquake, the tower is designed with a triangular base and 3 legs, similar to a tripod. The structure is built around central pillars to reduce tremors and damage during an earthquake. With these advanced techniques, the tower can withstand an earthquake of magnitude 8.0. After a detailed construction process of 4 years, the Tokyo Skytree was finally completed in 2012. Standing at 634 meters tall, it is the tallest tower in the world, breaking the previous record held by China's Canton Tower. It was built for $800 million and will now serve as the most prominent broadcasting tower in the country. By doubling the height, the new broadcasting tower will avoid signal clashes with the city's ever-increasing skyscrapers. It will provide smooth TV and radio transmission from the top of Tokyo. The Tokyo Skytree also serves as an observation tower for tourists. It has 2 observation decks at 350 meters and 450 meters above the ground. The tower has had over 300 million visitors since its opening in 2012. In addition to taking the world record for tower height, it is also the second tallest structure in the world behind the 830 meters tall Burj Khalifa. However, the Tokyo Skytree is not considered a skyscraper or a building because it is not habitable. As for its world record, the tower will soon face competition from Dubai, as they plan to build the first 1,000-meter tall tower. We will continue talking about tall megaprojects with a look into the tallest bridge in the world. The Millau Viaduct in southern France is the tallest in the world. It is even taller than the Eiffel Tower and reaches a height of 336 meters. The bridge was built for $424 million and is much taller than some of the most famous bridges in the world. It is more than 100 meters taller than the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco and 4 times as tall as New York's iconic Brooklyn Bridge. Opened in 2005, the Millau Viaduct not only found a place in the record books but also solved a significant traffic congestion problem. It is part of the A75 motorway that connects Paris to Barcelona. Travelers suffered several delays on the old A75 because of the twisted route and heightened traffic during the summer vacations. The construction of the Millau Viaduct began in 2001, and many innovative engineering techniques were used to build it. The bridge is supported by 7 pylons emerging from 15-meter deep shafts and going as high as 244 meters. Instead of installing the bridge in sections, the deck was built entirely on plateaus and then pushed into the middle using a complex hydraulic system. The bridge supports a curved design to protect travelers from a floating sensation at such heights above the ground. Side screens are used to negate wind effects while slightly inclined to improve driver visibility. Despite the complex design and great height, this megaproject was completed in just 3 years. The finally finished bridge bypassed the valley of Millau and connected 2 sections of the motorway. Over the years, it has proved to be a hugely successful project, with over 5 million vehicles using the bridge every year. The Millau Viaduct is the tallest bridge in the world in terms of architectural height, but it isn't the highest. That record is held by the Duge Bridge in China, located 565 meters above the Baipan River. The towers that carry the Duge Bridge are only 269 meters tall, making it only the 11th tallest bridge in the world. China is also home to the world's longest bridge, the Danyang-Kunshan Grand Bridge, which is part of the Beijing-Shanghai High-Speed Railway. It was opened in 2011 and is 165 kilometers long. Moving on, we have the biggest airport in the world. Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport first started operations in 1925. It was built on an abandoned auto racetrack and covered an area of just over 1 square kilometer, or the size of 45 Manhattan city blocks. The airport doubled in size during the Second World War, and by 1957, it had become the busiest airport in the country. It kept attracting more and more travelers despite Atlanta's much lower population compared with some of the biggest cities in the U.S. One of the main reasons for that is Atlanta's geographic location. The city is located within a 2-hour flight from most of the most significant population centers in the country, making it a major port of entry into the U.S. The proximity to other main population centers also makes Atlanta a hotspot for business and tourism. Atlanta has been ranked the 7th most visited city for business travel in the U.S. It is home to the headquarters of 10 Fortune 500 companies, including Coca-Cola, the Home Depot, and Delta Airlines, which is the biggest airline company in the world. Hartsfield-Jackson is also far from other significant airports, so most of the passengers coming in and flying out of the region travel through here. Other major cities like New York and Chicago have multiple big airports, so the traffic is divided between the airports. It wasn't surprising when the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport became the world's busiest airport in 1999. It kept this record for the next 2 decades and handled over 107 million passengers in 2019. The only other airport to ever cross the 100 million mark was the Beijing Capital International Airport. Los Angeles International Airport took the 3rd spot with annual passenger traffic of over 88 million in 2019. These rankings significantly changed during 2020 because of the COVID lockdowns and movement restrictions. Hartsfield-Jackson has still remained the busiest airport in the U.S., with 42 million travelers. However, it's been taken over globally by China's Guangzhou Baiyun International Airport, with over 43 million passengers in 2020. Because of fewer travel restrictions, China is home to 7 of the top 10 busiest airports in the world. However, officials at the Hartsfield-Jackson believe that the latest rankings are temporary, and the airport will retake its top spot as restrictions start easing. Despite the insane traffic, Hartsfield-Jackson isn't as big in size as some of the other airports in the world. It now stretches over 19 square kilometers, more than 5 times the size of New York's Central Park. However, that is quite some way behind Saudi Arabia's King Fahd International Airport, the biggest airport in the world by size and at least 40 times as big as Hartsfield-Jackson. We conclude today's video with the longest train tunnel in the world. Railways has to pass through different landscapes, including rivers, hills, and even entire cities. These obstructions can make train journeys longer, which also makes transporting goods lengthy. The Swiss Alps faced a similar problem during the 90s. Most of the goods were carried by trucks through the curvy mountains and challenging roads. This raised the risks of traffic congestion and road accidents while increasing transit times. The movement was slowed down even more during the winters due to snow. To overcome this problem, a train tunnel was proposed through the Alps. It was named the Gotthard Tunnel and was approved in 1992 after a referendum by Swiss voters. The voters then also endorsed the idea of moving all goods traveling from roads to rail. The rock excavation for the Gotthard Tunnel began in 2000, and the workers found the first breakthrough in 2010. A 410-meter-long boring machine was used to create the tunnel, equivalent to 4 football pitches. A total of 28 million tons of rock was excavated to get the tunnel ready. Most of the rock was then recycled into concrete used during the tunnel's construction. The tunnel was opened in December 2016 when it overtook Japan's 54 km Seikan Rail Tunnel as the longest in the world. Meanwhile, Europe's previous longest tunnel, the 51 km long Channel Tunnel between France and the UK, was pushed to third place. More than 250 freight trains use the Gothard Tunnel every day. Since most of the goods are now carried by trains, the environmental damage caused by heavy trucks is also minimized. 60 passenger trains also go through the tunnel each day, some of which reach speeds of over 250 km per hour. This has significantly reduced travel times from Switzerland to Italy, as the tunnel journey takes less than 20 minutes. The Gothard Tunnel project cost $12 billion to build. However, the revenue from transported goods and passenger trains will amount to more than $400 million annually. Another $100 million will be saved on the environmental costs of heavy trucks. So, the heavy construction costs can be easily made back. What do you think about these extreme megaprojects? Have you ever been to one of them before? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.